up, guys? It's your girl Gabriella, and I'm back at it once again with another video. In this video, as you guys can tell by the title, I'm going to talk about my high school year and how rough it was and how tough it was and how the going how I just kept moving. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. When I first got to high school, I knew that I was going to struggle. I knew that I was going to have a rough time, and I just knew it wasn't going to be like my year, you know. Before I got to high school, I thought it was gonna be my year, because whenever I was in 8th grade, one thing that I remembered from whenever I was in 8th grade was that I was like, high school is your year, high school is your life, like that's where life begins, is high school. It was the truth, one, and two, it wasn't like anything that I expected. At the beginning of high school, it was all sweet, calm, cool, calm, and collected. And I was like, I had this mindset. Like, that's one thing I don't get about myself, is like, y'all, I have this mindset for something and I never stick to it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get straight A's, I'm going to not mess with boys, I'm going to not do this, I'm going to not do that, because this is what I want to do when I get older. Turns out it didn't end up like that. It didn't work like that. I was distracted by some boy. I knew it was the wrong thing to do, because my mom was like, you don't need a boyfriend right now because all they want is to get in your pants. I tried to overlook that, and I tried not to listen to that, only because sometimes, you know, you feel like people are gonna change, and you feel like people you don't think they're going to be that person that somebody says they're going to be, until you stay around them long enough to understand that that's the person that that people have warned you about. I had to deal with that for months, literally months. And what really made it difficult for me was that his spirit, like, with me being around him, I was literally protecting him, and I was protecting his feelings, and I was like, oh no, he's not gonna do this, please don't do this to him, please don't do that to him, oh my god, don't call the police, don't do nothing like that. Like, I was protecting him because I had that much love for him, or love that his spirit clashed with mine, and it changed my whole demeanor, it changed my whole personality. So, and that's one thing that I regret in my life. That's one thing I regret ever. I don't regret meeting him, because in my head, God puts people in your life for a reason. He puts them in your life either to help you or to make you learn a lesson. And that was my lesson. I'm grateful that he was in my life to help me understand what I am supposed to do and what I'm not supposed to do. But I regret all the things that I've done with him. If I could just go back and redo my freshman year of high school, I would. To me, I'm very disappointed in myself. At the end of the day, I passed the grade, but at the end of the year, like, I'm disappointed in myself, because I let myself get to those circumstances and those situations, and I'm just like, dang, if I hadn't stayed on the right road, I would have been where I wanted to be by now. But now I have to literally take baby steps to get to where I want to go. So it is what it is on that level. Another thing is that I was never really like, I was focused, but I wasn't focused at the same time. Like, I never did my homework. I never did my work in school, because I just got lazy with it. I was just like, maybe I'll do this another time, and, you know, I'll get this over with. And that day comes and I never did it, and I failed the class for that. The only reason why I was like being lazy with it was because I was tired. Like, I have situations that I'm dealing with at home, and teachers don't understand that. They're just like, no, you need this work done so you can pass the class. I understand that, because you have to pass the class in order to graduate. But at the same time, like, you gotta take it from a student's perspective, because what if you were a student in this very situation and you were going through the same situations that I was going through? You wouldn't be a good student in that class, would you? You would not have time to focus. You would not have time to get your mind off of what you're going through, because it's going to be repetitive in your head and in your life. I was just overwhelmed by that, and honestly, I never knew how to get out of that, except for just knowing how to do my work and knowing how to be like, okay, I gotta get my head in the game. I cannot keep focusing on what's going on if I'm at school. Like, in my head, I literally had to put so many things in my head since my freshman year that it's not even funny. I literally had to make myself focus. Like, I had to be like, okay, school is school. You got to focus on school. You're here. This is what you need to focus on. School. When you're at home, that's what you focus on. Don't worry about school when you're at home. I had to literally know how to separate the two. And it was hard, and it's still hard, but I'm getting it. I promise you I'm getting it. Guys, my hair is really getting on my nerves. But anyway, another thing that I had trouble focusing on was that, as you guys can tell by a couple of videos ago, we moved. It was difficult for me at that time because I'm like, dang, how am I supposed to be switching from one school to another and then having to focus on what they're teaching? Because I felt like all schools, because my county is Rutherford County, so I feel like all Rutherford County schools or Benford County or whatever, I feel like we were all on the same page with what we were learning. Like, I feel like all the students were on the same track, on the same level. It turns out I go to my new school and they're teaching something that I learned in the first semester. So I'm just like, okay, and mind you, we have exams coming up. So how am I supposed to learn something that I have not? How am I supposed to take a test on something that I have not learned before? I was frustrated about that because I told my new teachers, I was like, we've already went over this first semester. And she was like, oh, so you didn't learn anything? So you didn't learn anything that we learned first? No, apparently I did not. If they're going over it now, like they're over here reading Romeo and Juliet, To Kill a Mockingbird, doing all that. We've already read that. Like, literally, we covered that first semester, and they're teaching everything that we learned first semester, second semester. Like this is the last semester of the year. So I'm just like, I was kind of confused. I honestly, it took me a while to have patience with what I was doing in that school. I only told a select few that I was going to the school that they were going to, and those are the people that I've known for a while. Like, I'm talking about more than months while, about a few years while. And they knew I was coming, but they didn't warn me about all the circumstances, and they just didn't tell me anything, and I had to figure it out on my own. And I don't know what to say about that. A couple videos ago, I made a video about my first love and how I got my heart broken for the first time. My first love goes to that school. The link will be in the description down below, and please watch that video. Looking like a jungle up in there. I guess it was meant to be. You know what? I'm saying this because I want to feel better about myself. Ugh. Oh my God. It's a lot that I had to deal with my freshman year that I was wishing that I never had to deal with ever again in my life. Then on top of that, I lose a friend that I was friends with for like a while over some fact that, you know, we were supposed to be like, I don't want to say we were supposed to be a couple, but it was supposed to be something that, you know, I was supposed to be dealing with. I don't know, it's confusing. Currently something happened, and then he was like, oh, she said da 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 da, and so I da 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 da, and you da 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 da, and la 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 la, and I'm like, I don't care. It is what it is. It was what it was. You can't change a thing about it. So what's the point in me sitting there trying to play Blue's Clues with you and try to figure out what I apparently said? So I'm just over that. Like, the bottom line is, through all of that, moving schools, having to go through my grades, having to deal with my first love, having to deal with all of that, I'm just like, how did I make it? You know, how did I do all of that and make it here to where I am? And that's one thing that just replays in my head as I'm thinking. I'm like, God, like, I made it this far. Who knows what will happen if I make it again? And I'm just like dang. To all the freshmen, all the upcoming freshmen that are going to high school, please take after my advice when I tell you this. If you're watching this video all the way to the end, please listen to this video. Stay focused. That's the number one thing you need to do. You have to do. You gotta stay focused. Do not fall for every boy that calls you cute in high school, because 9 times out of 10 it is not going to happen. The relationship is going to break, your heart's going to break, and he's just gonna laugh. Like, take after my advice. Just stay focused. If you know that you want to graduate as a valedictorian, if you know that you want to graduate with, you know, distinction, if you know you want to graduate, period, stay focused on that goal. You have goals in life. before you have to worry about a relationship, worry about your goal, honey. Don't F up your freshman year like I did. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys take heed to what I was trying to tell you guys about my freshman year and how I felt about it, because it was hard for me. It was really hard for me, and I'm just surprised that I made it this far. I'm almost there to being an adult, and I'm like, dang, I made it that far. I can remember my freshman year as a example to what I don't need to do in life. Bye guys. Peace.